not only just talking about the Aries full moon in this video, like I am taking you on a journey into the vibe of this Aries full moon. Woo! The fire gods are blessing us with this Aries full moon happening on October 6th, 2025. This Aries full moon is gonna kick our asses into shape, okay? Pushing us forward in our lives, having us face the challenge that we have not been wanting to face. Hello, my sexy aliens, and welcome back to another video. As always, you wanna watch the beginning of this bad boy first. That is where all of the tea is that is going to help you transform your life. Only at the end, I go over very briefly what this means for your sign. If you would like to know more about what this means for your sign, watch the beginning because you're going to relate to some of it, if not all of it, in some way, shape, or form. It's going to be very potent and powerful. I'm dropping some bombs. You can also check out your horoscope. I did do the horoscopes this month. Thank you very much. So it's the video before this one. If you want to go check that out, we went in pretty in depth, so make sure you don't miss that. Also, one quick, very important announcement before we get into this good shit that I have for you today. I am doing a new experience. I don't even know what to fucking call it yet. It's been channeled. I have a lot of like vibes and energy around it, and I know what it's going to be about. I know what we're going to be doing, but it's also very mysterious. But it's called Dancing with Your Edge. And this experience is going to help you meet whatever edge you've been facing in your life, whatever resistance you've been facing in your life. It's going to be a very energetic experience. There is going to be a lot of like getting into the body, getting into the energy. And oftentimes I have found that the right people end up attracted to these types of things and end up having massive unexplainable shifts during or even before or even after these events. And so if it feels like something that is feeling sexy to you, if you feel like you have an edge or a challenge or something that you just feel is blocking you right now, like it can be literally simple, like maybe your life is good and you just feel like, you know what, I've been feeling some blocks around my heart or my solar plexus or whatever. Or maybe you're like, I have this big goal I've been wanting to do, but I'm like scared. Or maybe you're like, you know, I have really been not myself for a while and I am ready to freaking jump back into my power and jump back into the driver's seat and face whatever the fuck is holding me back, because that's what this is really about. This is about dancing with your edge, meeting your shadow, meeting your shit, and learning how to turn it into gold, baby. Like that is what this is all about. It's been a channeled experience. It literally came to me as I was waking up one day. My whole body was vibrating, and I know when that happens, something else is being channeled through me, like something divine, something unexplainable, something miraculous. And whatever it was has been guiding me through this whole process of downloading different things for it, like showing me what it's going to be about, taking my own experience and also weaving it through. If you are feeling drawn to this right now, it's only $11 right now, but it is going to go up. It's going to go up pretty much every single day until we start on October 12th. Sometimes it may go up a little bit, sometimes it may go up a lot. This is all very intuitive, but I felt like starting off, I needed to set the, like, I needed to just give it, you know, a very like low price range because I feel like a lot of people need this. And so if you'd like more info about that, go see the link down in the description. It'll be the first link down there. Dancing with Your Edge, baby. And wait till you see the pictures. Wait till you see the branding for it. Like I've been just, it's been so creative. It's been a very creative process, and I feel like a lot of people are going to really, really shift, and it's going to really prepare us for the shadow season that we are in. So if you're feeling drawn to it, check out the description. Alrighty, now with that being said, let's talk about this Aries full moon because I have some shit for you today. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into this mother effing Aries full moon, boo, because I am already feeling it. If you cannot tell, we are in the fire. We are in the mother effing fire here, okay? Let's make it red for the Aries full moon. Okay, anyways, so let's talk about Aries, right? Aries, we know, ruled by Mars, which, Mars is in Scorpio, giving us the Scorpio, watery, seduction, dark femme vibes, okay? But this Aries full moon is definitely a purge, okay, since Mars is in Scorpio and it's the ruler of this Aries full moon. Aries is fiery. Aries is all about the spirit, the vibes, freedom. It is about the self. It is about knowing who the F you are and meeting the challenges in your life by claiming your truth, by claiming who you are. Because when you're yourself, you're automatically going to cause friction with other people because you're not holding anything back. You're not holding anything in. You're not over explaining yourself. You're not trying to be nice. You're not performing for something. Like, you are just being who you really effing are. So when you know who you are, like, you take action from that place. Like, your fire comes on board. But how do we get back to knowing what's right for us, to knowing what's good for us? Well, likely there's a challenge somewhere in your life that you've been facing or that you're finding you're coming up against for this Aries full moon. It could be a conflict, it could be a challenge, it could be a decision you've been going back and forth on, you've been on the fence on. So this Aries full moon is about a challenge that we've been facing in some way, shape, or form, okay? And on the build up to this Aries full moon, coming out of Virgo season, coming out of eclipse season, we've been swimming in the void. That Pisces lunar eclipse and the Virgo solar eclipse was us pretty much swimming in the void of feminine energy, because both Virgo and Pisces are feminine energies. And so we've been swimming in the feminine void, having to let go, having to trust, having to see what that means, not allow our physical circumstances to have power over us, to come back to what we can control instead of worrying about the things that we can't. Okay, so that means that this Aries full moon is like, okay, we've let go of what we needed to let go of. We have worked our energy out. We've worked our feminine out. We've like, been letting go and getting into the void and all of that great stuff. Now it's time for the mother effing masculine action. It's time for the masculine energy. It's time to take action. Okay, and how do you take action? Because most of you may still be on the fence. Most of you may, or some of you may still be like, I don't really know what to do, or I have this challenge, or I'm coming up on this specific conflict in my life. The thing is like, hi, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. It's you. Hi, you're the problem, it's you. Aries steps into its power and knows where to direct its energy and knows to take action, and it takes action quickly because it knows that it is the owner of its life. It is the owner of its life force. And so the way that we get through this is by choosing the conflict, okay? Not all conflict is bad. And that's the thing. Like, we've got to see a different side to conflict here. Like, leading ourselves through the hard moments, leading ourselves through the challenges, leading ourselves through the conflicts is literally what makes us stronger. All we need is courage, okay? And courage is not having fear. Courage is being freaking scared as fuck, but still doing it anyway. And leading ourselves through those hard times, through those challenges, like, that is what creates strength over time. Trust in oneself, trust in one's own power, one's own abilities, one's own decisions and individuality. That's what builds confidence over time. And so what's really been coming up, I've seen a lot for this Aries full moon, is ownership. Own it. Own your decisions, whether past or present. Like, fully own your decisions. Don't abandon yourself the second a challenge comes up, or the second things get messy, or if you start looking back on your decisions and feeling a bit icky about them or shaming yourself for it. It's like, no, own it. You did what you thought was best in that time. You did what you wanted to do in that time, so freaking own it. This is personal power. This is personal power, baby. So it's like, rather than shaming yourself, stop resisting what you've done. Stop resisting your decisions and own the decisions that you've made, because I think so much of the time what holds us back from moving forward in our lives and from actually taking the freaking action, even when it's aligned, is that we don't trust ourselves. It's what it comes down to. We don't trust ourselves. We don't trust that things are working out for us. We don't trust that we can do it. We don't trust in our capabilities. And we see ourselves as a victim, and we forget that we're the big deal. We forget that we are the big deal here. We are the creators here. Not your job, not, the person that's pissing you off, not money, not your circumstances, whatever it is. That's you are creating separation when you put things on a pedestal. And you need to put yourself back up on the mother effing pedestal. Okay? And so you've got to, and by doing that, it's like remembering that I've chose this. What decisions have you been making or not making that you don't truly feel aligned with? Like, a lot of that comes from okay, I've been continuing to do this habit and it's eating away at my self-trust, or I've been continuing to say yes to something to please something else and it's not really what I want to do, or I've been continuing to not set a boundary with this person, or I've been like not making this decision that I know that I need to make or that I know that I want to make, and I'm not trusting myself to fully do it. Like, that is where our personal power comes from, when we own our decisions, when we go all in on our decisions instead of resisting it because of what happened in the past, or because we're still shaming ourselves for something that didn't go right in the past. And so this is like us coming back into our own personal truth, us coming back into our own personal power, us realizing what it is that needs to shift, what challenge that we need to see differently, or what that we need to face. This is the evolution of ourselves with this Aries full moon. So fuck waiting, like fuck sitting on the fence, shoot your shot, lock in, it's time. It is time. And remember, like, if there are problems, if there are, whatever challenge it is that you're dealing with, it's like, okay, how am I creating it? How is my perception of this challenge creating it as a challenge? Is it really a challenge? Could I see this in like a spicy way? Could I see this as like, ooh, this is my next level. This is the initiation, right? Very Aries energy. This is the initiation to the things that I actually want, to the direction that I actually want to go, to the me that I know that I am deep down. Because your fear isn't you. Your fear is self-preservation. It's trying to keep you safe. It always does. And when we start making decisions from fear, we start making decisions from feeling like we're small, or feeling like we're not enough, or feeling like we can't do something, or like we start making decisions from a place of not being in our personal power, we're going to get more of the same. And so how can you change the narrative here? Like, yeah, same circumstances, same thing that you think is a challenge, but change the way that you're viewing it. Like, and here's the thing, here's like some unexpected symptoms that happen, that I see happen all the time with not only myself, but clients, being in the rooms with so many other people in self-development. Like, the most unexpected things happen right before you're about to level up. And those things are usually things that go wrong. So what happens a lot of times is you decide, you make a decision, right? And this Aries full moon for a lot of people could be that decision, that commitment, that like owning up to something, that like, I'm fucking owning this. This is who I want to be. This is where I want to go. This is the true me. Like, whatever the case may be, I'm fucking making this decision and I'm acting on it. And so many people, they make that decision, they draw that line in the sand, and they're like, nope, it's done. That's that. And so then all of a sudden, what happens? Well, the universe is like, I see that you made that decision there, but like, you've talked a big game. You've, talked about doing this for so long, and then yet you keep falling back into your same pattern. So what's going to happen is those same patterns are going to come up right after you make that decision. Because to truly change creates friction. Okay? Just like conflict. When you're truly like all in with yourself and moving forward, it's going to piss some people off. You're going to rub shoulders with other people. You're going to rub up against other people's triggers, other people's shit, whatever. And that has nothing to do with you, especially if you're not like intentionally trying to be a dick or intentionally trying to get under people's skin. But the universe sees that decision that you made, and it's like, okay, that's great, but you've got to break out of these old patterns. And so what happens, those old patterns come up, those old ways of thinking come up, those old mindsets come up, or something in your external reality triggers them. Like, one of my good friends, I love you if you're watching this, I'm just using this as an example because it's like fresh on my mind because it just happened today, but her and I like went all in on this like 100-day challenge that we like created ourselves. We each had different things that we wanted to like commit to. And she started backsliding like a little bit last week, and she sent me a voice message about it, and I was like, this is great. Like, use this as data, use this as evidence, because like, you're coming up to the very freaking thing where it's like, okay, I can hold a challenge and I can hold change for this long, for a couple weeks, a few weeks, whatever. And then that's when my old mindsets come back in, and I start slipping up, and I come up across resistance, and the resistance starts coming, and like, the old stories come in, and I start slipping up, and it's like, okay, like, this is actually great because you just learned so much. But it still means that you can jump back in and take action. Just own up to the decisions. Don't create distance between you and the goal now just because some things happen. Just be and create shame around all of these things because, oh my gosh, I slipped up, and oh my gosh, and then we wallow in it, and then we create shame around it, and we feel guilty about it, and then, you know, and then that just keeps us wallowing and spiraling, and then we get farther and farther away from the goal. It's like, no, it doesn't have to mean all of this, and that about you. Like, just jump back in, take action, get out of your head, get into your body, take action. So some unexpected things that happen, because all of these things happen right before a massive identity upgrade, right before a massive leveling up, is fear. Your fear starts coming to the surface that you've, you know, the same fear that held you back from making the decision, going all in, like, you know, committing to something, taking the action, that fear is going to come back up. And it's like, okay, am I going to keep allowing this to dictate my life like I have been for so long? Or am I going to face it? Am I going to work through it? Am I going to still commit and still go all in? The next thing, challenge, ebbs, you know, dips, you know, things in your physical reality. Because here's the thing. These are the things that, like, if you can handle these things with class and in a new way than what you've been doing, if you don't fall back into the same pattern and allow this to mean that it's not working and just give up, like, if you can still handle these things, then boom, you're Gucci. Like, you're good. I don't even know if anyone, like, uses that anymore, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, once you handle those challenges, that is what stretches you into becoming the next version of you, breaking out of the mold. And it's not because you now isn't good enough, right? Because you right now are still just as freaking powerful as you could be. What is getting worked through during these challenges, during these ebbs, during these dips, during these different, you know, conflicts that come up, these challenges that come up and test you after you move forward or take aligned action or whatever, like, these are the exact things that need to be worked through because they stretch you. These are what you're ready to shed. You're ready to shed this old fear. You're ready to shed this old pattern that this external situation is triggering within you. You're ready to shed, because those things aren't you. Those things aren't you. Again, your fear isn't you. Your mindset isn't you. The old trauma and stuff that you went through isn't you. It's not you. It's an experience that you are experiencing. And when you can observe them, step back into who you are, which is able to observe these things, and you're able to see them for what they are: patterns, codes, old stories, old narratives, old mindsets, old trauma that's coming up and getting triggered by these situations that are happening. That's when you're able to be like, oh, as a badass alchemizer, how do I want to handle this? Scorpio, let's get resourceful. Why does all pain have to be horrible? It's not. That's why people jump out of airplanes and put their lives at risk. Like, I've been watching a lot of, like, Naked and Afraid because I love survival shows. Like, I want to go on one of these survival shows one day. Like, I'm just letting you know. It might actually happen. But it is a future goal of mine. And I think it's like my Scorpio 4th house placements, like, because how much power is that to know how to survive if you had to? Like, if I was abandoned on an island or on some land I didn't know and I needed to survive for however amount of time, like, I feel like there's nothing that to fear after that, because you know the basics of surviving. And so it's just something that is just so profoundly, like, attractive to me, and something that I just love watching other people do, because it really is like a test of so much mindset, emotion, like skill, like internal strength. You know, some people just make it on the internal strength alone. And I mean, it's like, it definitely, there's like some fear there. Again, challenge. Like, there's something so attractive about fear. And this is kind of what my dancing with your edge experience is going to be about. But there's something so attractive about fear and challenging ourselves. It's why we set goals. It's why we go to the gym. And guess what? When you go to the gym, guess what happens? You're sore as fuck. You are sore as fuck. Your body hurts. It hurts really bad for a while, okay? Like, I've been doing freaking Kriya yoga since that ceremony that I went to last month in Denver at the beginning of September. So it's pretty much been like almost a month now that I've been doing Kriya yoga weekly, okay? Multiple times a week, almost every morning. And that shit is intense, and that's why I love it, because it pushes me to my edge. It pushes me to, it helps me meet the resistance and the tension. Like, I'm like shaking. I feel like my body is going to like give out on me, and my heart's like pumping, and I feel like I might die. And then at the same time, I'm like, this is freaking amazing. Like, and then I start like, after I'm done, I'm like in bliss, and then I start like wanting to cry and have all these like releases, and I'm like, fuck yes. Like, and that's like the gift of it, because crying and those energetic releases, and like whether you need to scream or cry or like shake or like whatever, like that is the release. That is what you're looking for. That is the gift, because that's moving that energy through your body, that stuck energy through your body, which is so big right now with the nodes in Virgo and Pisces, okay? And Mars and Scorpio. Like, so many people do shit that they're scared of. Why? Because it's like building a muscle, just like going to the gym. Once you do it so many times, and once you keep facing those fears, they no longer have power over you, and you get all that energy that you've been using on, you know, thinking about it and giving to that thing, putting that thing as if it's like somehow better than you on like a pedestal, even though it's like a shadow pedestal instead of like a positive pedestal, you know, like it may not be like an idol. You may not be idolizing your fear, but you kind of are in a way. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, you kind of are in a way. So, but it's like facing that is what stretches us. Like, that's what gets us stronger and helps us to be able to deal with the harder stuff in life. I've been stretching myself in so many freaking ways this year. And like really internal ways too, like really deep emotional ways, like things that I was dependent on, or things that I thought I needed to survive, or thought I needed to like, you know, go throughout my day. And I've just completely stopped, and I've never felt so free in so many ways. And I've also faced so many other fears like outside of me, you know, and it's like, there's this archetype that I have in my work that I call the fear-facing fanatic. And this is usually what we get into a lot of times around this energy, like when we've had enough and we're like, I'm sick of doing the same thing over and over again, because I'm scared to go after what I really want, because I'm scared to invest in myself or in my personal development, or I'm scared to get this new job, or I'm scared to put myself out there for love again, or I'm scared. Like, do you want that to be your story forever? Because honestly, to get all the way real with you, if you watch like or listen to so many people like that are older in age, elderly, like on their deathbed, the main thing that they all say is that they regret letting fear hold them back so much. They regret not going after the things that they wanted. They regretted not being more of themselves. But we spend so much time avoiding our fears rather than doing what we actually desire to do, living a life out of desire. We spend so much time in survival when we don't even really need to be. And like, take it from me, I get it. Like, I have serious survival shit, you know, like I've been homeless. I've been in really, really bad situations just because I didn't think I could depend on myself. Like, I've stayed in really messed up situations. I've, you know, been on my own and not known how I was going to make rent, but I'm like over here investing in my self-development. Like, I get it. Like, I have been in really, really low lows and really, really high highs. But guess what? Most people that go through those low lows are also the same people that are able to experience those high highs. It's why I'm able to sit here on freaking video and be so authentic and be so me, which is like the main freaking feedback that I get from so many of you that like get readings with me or comment or like whatever. Like, I just love how authentic you are, and like you just seem so confident even when I don't feel like I'm being confident, you know what I mean? But it's just an energy thing. Like, it's just a thing of like, I've faced so freaking much in my life, and there's not too much that scares me. Yeah, there's some things that I wouldn't prefer, but you get what I mean. Like, the fears that, I'm not saying you need to go out and face every single fear you have, although you totally could. Like, I go through these fear-facing fanatic phases, and I have faced other fears, like my fear of heights. I like sat on the edge of a cliff. And I mean, it was a tall freaking cliff. And I was like, makes my legs like start tensing up thinking about it. But I sat there, you know, and took it in, and it was scary, but I did it. Right when you're coming up against the resistance in your life, right when you're coming up against like, oh, there's this aligned action that I know I need to take, or this decision I know I need to make, but it may piss some people off, or I've got to do this for me, or it may cause some conflict, or it may cause some friction. Yeah, it probably will. Maybe not in the way that you're thinking, but it will in some way. But that's the exact thing that's going to grow you as a person. That is the exact thing that's going to stretch you, because that friction is needed to start fire. okay? And so if you want to start that fire under your ass and in your belly in your life, you've got to have some tension. You've got to face some friction. You've got to face the things in your life that have been holding you back or keeping you stuck, or whatever situation is coming up during this time to get your attention in some way, shape, or form. Because that is what this Aries full moon is really all about. Sometimes resistance comes up not because it's trying to get you to freeze or stay still, but because it's ready to be released. It's ready to be faced. It's ready to be worked with. It's ready to be processed. Like the other day, again, I was watching a Naked and Afraid episode, and this chick, like, you know, was doing good and had like all this energy, and like, you know, she got to like day 7 or something, and she just started having resistance come up, and she was like all in the feelings, and then like wanting to lay there all day, and like didn't want to do anything, and she was kind of on the fence, like, and she was resisting the resistance, which just ends up freezing us, because so much of our energy is going to like resisting the resistance. And we're trying to deal with our shadow with more shadow, like push down, resist it, push it in to the subconscious. And it's like, no, the only way you deal with that shit is light. Feel it. And eventually after a few days, she was like, you know what? I just need to like cry and let myself feel this for a minute. I can't hold this in anymore. I'm going to end up tapping out. And she just felt it. And she was like, yeah, you know, like it sucks, but I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get through this. And then she was able to like jump right back into the challenge and finish it. And it was great. Like, you know, like she stopped resisting the resistance. And then she was able to stop resisting completely, you know, period. Period. And so what challenges are you resisting in your life because they feel edgy? Because they feel like they may cause conflict? You know, whether it's taking the lead, standing up for something, being the trailblazer, especially full moon in Aries, going first when no one else is, owning up to something, taking an action that you know is kind of hard or challenging, or that, you know, needs to be taken. That is what this Aries full moon is about. It's showing us where we have either internal or external challenges that we have got to face. And we can do it with grace. We can do it with class. We don't have to be disrespectful. We don't have to be, you know, assholes about it. It's like, you know, where certain things coming up where, like, you know, it's like, okay, I have been putting this off, or I've been putting off making this decision, or I've been resisting the decision I already made instead of just accepting it, you know, and owning up to it and doing the damn thing. How can I look at these challenges or these conflicts in front of me, that like the gym, like, you know, the treadmill or some weights, you know, like these are the things that are, you know, working me out, making me more of who I am, reintroducing me to my like real self, you know, like helping me shed and de-armor all of the stuff that's not me, that I've been living in. Like, where can I just be alive and be like, hell yeah, like I am alive. I am breathing air. You know, we can get into like the eroticness of this energy too, where it's like howling at the moon or screaming into a pillow, or, you know, dancing with the songs that like make us feel like a badass, you know what I mean? Or like, I remember one time is when I was leading my Goddess Mode program, which was absolutely incredible. And I go over a ton of like emotional intelligence stuff in that program, and feminine energy, masculine energy, whole 9 yards, how to embrace it to unlock your own divinity, all that. But there's one time, like I got COVID, like a little over halfway through the program, and was going through a breakup, and that I had not really expected to go through at the time. And it was a really hard breakup. It meant a lot to me. I remember I was like dealing with COVID, and I had never been so freaking sick in my life, and it was the first time I got COVID, and it's 2022. It took me that freaking long to get COVID, and I finally got it, and I was sicker than I'd ever been. And I remember I'm in the bathroom on the floor, and I'm like hunched over the toilet, and I'm like throwing up, and like my mind's just going into all these different things, like, oh my God, this is like so bad, like what is going on? And it's like, okay, well, like, how do I want to lead myself through this? Who do I want to be? How do I want to look back and remember how I led myself through this and be like, damn, I am freaking proud of that. Like, that was badass. Go you. Like, how can I turn this into something that is freaking amazing, that like blows people's minds when I tell the story? And I was like, what can you be grateful for in this moment? And I was just like, I'm alive, like just throwing up, and like, but I could just feel like that was the best energy I could tap into at that moment, because my body was shaking, like, and so I like all of a sudden started sinking into the aliveness and like the primalness that I was of my body, rather than the suck of, oh my gosh, I'm throwing up and feel like shit. Like, I was able to sink into the aliveness and the primalness and like the animalistic part of me, and be like, I'm alive, like while I'm like throwing up. And and then I started like laughing at myself about it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Like, and so, yeah, I mean, this is what it really comes into. It's like, how do we want to lead ourselves through the tough times? How can we stretch ourselves into who we're becoming? And we know what that next thing is, what that next challenge is, because it has been coming up. It's been taking on a lot of our energy, or it's the thing we've been thinking about a lot, or it's like something that keeps coming up, you know, and the universe has likely already given you answers. Okay, like the universe is likely already giving you answers that are right in front of you, like little glimpses into what this is. So trust it, face it, own it, lock in, shoot your shot. Become allergic to your own BS, okay? Become allergic to your own BS. Become allergic to your own excuses, your old mindset. Like, tap back into that fire. Get it on. Feel the aliveness. Like, we are freaking alive. And as long as we are alive, we are capable of anything. There are people that have came from way worse odds than you that have made miraculous shit happen. You know, there are so many people, I mean, so many successful, like really successful people that, you know, their story literally starts with, I was at my rock bottom. I was poor. I was homeless. I had a health issue. I was in the hospital. I was this, I was that. And I overcame it because I decided to. I made a decision, and it changed everything. I stopped making all of that stuff more powerful than I was. If you like literally listen to people and how they've gotten through really, really difficult times, like you'll start to see a pattern. You know, they turn those difficult times into something that launches them, that acts as like a rocket ship. And that's why I always say rock bottom is a launch pad. I've had my biggest successes off of really low lows. And so we go through seasons, you know, and it's like, how do you want to remember this particular one? And you know, whether you had an amazing eclipse season last month or not a great eclipse season last month, it's like, okay, what's next? What's the next step? Time to freaking move, time to take action, time to get back into remembering who you are and seeing what you're capable of, and seeing the fire in your soul. That's really what this is about. Time to be the trailblazer in your own life and like lead yourself through whatever it is that, you know, whatever it is right now that you're going through. But the other thing about this is, because the sun is in Libra, opposite of Aries, we can oftentimes find this polarity between, again, where we've been sitting on the fence with something, or where we've been trying to keep something together to keep the peace or not rock the boat, or to make things fair from our perspective, or where we've been allowing another's perspective to control our actions or what we do or don't do. And so a lot of the times for the Aries full moon, it can become very, very clear, like where we're at with something, even if it's not where other people may be at. So it can become very, very clear the decision that you need to make, the action that you need to take, you know, where you don't need to prove something anymore, where you don't need to, where you've been overly considerate of other people in your life and what they're going to think and what they want and whatever. And so this is definitely a time of realigning with our independence, realigning with our own selves, like realigning with the truth of what we have going on and how we truly feel, even if that rocks the boat. Okay. And so we may get a little confrontational during this Aries full moon. You may see some confrontation. You may see some drama. You may see some, you know, over the top, you know, kind of behavior. You may see It may be the time for you to be more direct about something. It may be the time for you to kind of ignite something within you that you've forgotten about. You know, Aries is the ram, like head first, you know, like it's time to stop overthinking, or it's time to stop waiting, being in the waiting room of your life, and take life by the horns. Like that is this Aries full moon. And so this is a time where we kind of come back to ourselves and we kind of focus on, oh, wait, this is actually my truth. This is actually what's going on with me. And this is where the challenge is, but I'm going to accept the challenge because I know who I am, and I know that I can do it, and I know that I can handle it, and I know that it's going to stretch me. And that's the beauty of it. Anyways, I love you. I hope that this was helpful. Let me know if it was down below. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Comment down below. Let's see. What do we want to comment down below with this one? I guess comment down below badass alien. I know that I do that one a lot too, but comment down below badass alien. Also, last but not least, if you are still here, I am offering readings still for October. I still have some slots left for October, and I also am filling a few more one-on-one coaching client spots. So if you are feeling my vibe and you want to work on yourself, and you want to work on your next level, and you want to become more of you, you want to crack open all of the sexy parts of you, your gifts, all of that. And I mean, I have a lot of different skills. I know anything from like identity work, energetics, somatics, you know, feminine and masculine energy, to business and all of that great jazz. Mainly, I will say, mainly though, self-development related businesses. I mean, I have helped people that have like, you know, in-person businesses as well, but businesses that are focused on healing and, you know, their branding and things like that. So that is something I'm very, very passionate about. But I also work with people that may not have a business and that just want to work on themselves, find their power, crack open to their identity. We do use your chart sometimes. It's not like a full-on thing, but the chart is just the beginning. It's just kind of the map that says, okay, these are the areas where, you know, you can embrace more of who you are to become more of who you really are. But if that's something you're interested in, also check out the link below. Signing up for mentorship is on my actual page where you book the reading. So you just go, like, you click book a reading, scroll down, and you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation with me. Alrighty, so with that being said, let's get into this Aries full moon for each rising sign. Alrighty, Aries risings, this full moon is happening in your first house. So as I always say, a full moon in your first house definitely brings to light some of the things that have been going on with you internally, emotionally, and it really brings those up to be released. And it can also bring a lot of clarity too. Like, you can get a lot of clarity around how you've been feeling emotionally, any kind of like hidden stuff going on that's been affecting you, or feeling a bit edgy to you, or feeling like a problem or a challenge for you. It can help you get really, 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 really clear on yourself in order for you to make more aligned decisions moving forward. So oftentimes a full moon in our signs can kind of feel like we have reached an epitome of who we are. We've reached kind of this peak place of who we are, our identity and our bodies. And from there, we kind of start feeling this build start to happen. And, or even, like I said, a release. Like, we can release some things that have been holding us back or keeping us like small, timid, you know, stuck, etc. And so it's really a time of getting really, really kind of clear on who you are and feeling kind of full on the inside, which then translates to the outside. So I usually love a full moon in the first house. It really is like a time of just kind of putting a spotlight on us and making us feel like seen and understood again in some way, shape, or form. And so you could really be noticing that coming up right now for this time period. It may have you kind of facing either an internal challenge or conflict you've been going through, or an external one to do with another person or a relationship, where it's like time to address this, or time to take action on this, or time to be more direct about something in some way, shape, or form. Now, on top of that, this full moon is ruled by Mars, which is in Scorpio in your 8th house. So it could bring up the topic of finances, or even some really deep psychological or emotional changes that are coming to the surface at this time to be kind of dealt with. So it's definitely kind of showing you your blind spots to help you feel more clarity in your life, to come back into kind of some kind of clarity in your life. So definitely look for those themes. If you've been dealing with some challenges with finances, or some challenges have come up financially to do with other people, investments, business, your relationship, your partner's finances, dealing with maybe an inheritance, or dealing with, you know, anything, any kind of financial ties to other people, this could kind of show you where you are going to feel more like yourself during this time. Like, it could kind of show you the direction that you want to take, pretty much. Like, it's like, oh, hey, this is how I'm feeling about this, and this is what I feel is right for me. And yeah, that may be like not great for other people, but I've got to stay true to myself. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting from this. That's kind of what a lot of Aries energy is about, and Aries full moon is about. It's like, I've got to go my own way. I've got to stay true to who I am. And even though this may be, you know, kind of, I may have to cut off some attachments here, cut off some old things here, it's like you're kind of like a snake shedding your skin. It's kind of the image that I'm getting. So let me know down below, Aries risings, if that is landing with you, if you're noticing these themes come up. And even if you're not, let me notice what themes you are noticing. Let me know how it relates down below. Comment sexy Aries rising, and you'll definitely want to watch the first half of this video if you skipped ahead. It's definitely going to relate to you big time, okay? You're gonna want to watch that first half. It's really, really big. So moving on to Taurus risings. For Taurus risings, this full moon and Aries is happening in your 12th house. Very interesting place to have this full moon. You're definitely gonna be feeling like there is something going on internally or behind the scenes that has maybe felt challenging for you, coming up for this full moon. It may be showing you where you have this inner tension, or this like internalized anger, or this suppressed anger, or where you have had certain ways of going about things that have led to your own self-undoing, your own self-sabotaging, your own suffering in some way, shape, or form. And it's going to be really releasing those things, or facing those things, because, you know, it's trying to bring you back into balance with your, and harmony with your day-to-day work, your day-to-day life, your day-to-day routines. So having this Aries full moon in the 12th, you know, it can also be like the place of hidden enemies. So you may kind of realize that, you know, oh, there's been somebody in my life, or somebody that I know that isn't quite who I thought they were, or doesn't have my back like I thought, or something like that. Like maybe someone at work, or maybe a coworker, or maybe someone you were even close with, you know. With Mars being the ruler of this full moon and being in your 7th house, it also really makes me think that there could be some repressed stuff going on, or some behind the scenes stuff, some subconscious stuff going on that somehow is tying into your relationships, or your significant relationships, or like your marriage or whatever with other people as well. So let me know if that is the case, Taurus risings. Comment down below, sexy Taurus rising. If you watched until here, you definitely don't want to miss the beginning of this one. It will fire you up. So definitely go back and watch that if you skipped ahead. And we're going to move on to Gemini risings. For Gemini risings, this Aries full moon is happening in your 11th house of the other people, your social life, acquaintances, alliances, friend groups, support groups, you know, groups that either you lead or that you're a part of, that you relate to. There's like a shared common goal or interest there between you and other people. This can look like the yoga, you know, place that you go to, or the gym and the people you hang out with at the gym, or an online support group, or like, you know, anything to do with kind of groups that you belong to, or groups of people, friendships, sometimes even like social events and stuff as well, marketing, you know, things like that. So you could see a lot of those themes, or stuff revolving around those themes coming up. Like I've been saying, with so much Aries energy happening this year and starting this year, you could be feeling called yourself to kind of trailblaze something, to lead something, to find your people out there, or find other people that are like you, or that are like, you know, feel like lone wolves, you know, like to be the alpha in a situation or something. And so that could becoming a lot more clear to you at this time. For some of you, this could even mean like realizing certain things about certain people, or releasing certain groups of people, or finishing something with a group of people that you've been doing, something along those lines. But either way, it's like, you know, the connections that you make from the interest that you have, and that could really be coming up. Now, this could tie into your work, health, or day-to-day routine, lifestyle, wellness in some way, with Scorpio ruling this full moon and being in your 6th. And so this could definitely be a time where, you know, again, maybe you were involved with a group of people that you worked with, or like, that you would, I don't know, do certain things with. And, maybe there's something coming up with that right now. Or maybe you've been involved with a group of people that have a shared interest in, like, health related things or wellness related things. And that something with that could be coming up right now. Likely something to do with you, again, stepping into some kind of leadership or pioneering something, trailblazing something, or even a certain conflict or challenge that you're facing in those situations. So you'll definitely have to let me know, Gemini risings, how this one is playing out for you guys. I'd love to hear your feedback down below. So comment down below, sexy Gemini rising, and watch the beginning. It could give you a lot more info on this full moon and what you could see, what you could see coming up. So alrighty, moving on to Cancer risings. For Cancer risings, this full moon is happening in your 10th house. So this is a very very public part of your chart that is really getting lit up here. This is kind of like a whole new era that is starting here, or an era that's ending here, coming in with your career, your public life, your public image, your reputation. You could be feeling kind of like, the way I see this full moon is like, maybe there's been something going on in this area of your life, whether it's been your career, whether it's been your brand, whether it's been how you've been presenting yourself to the world, whatever the case may be, but there's something here changing or really coming to light here. It's like, the way that I see this, and this may be an exact situation, but it doesn't have to be, so just relate it to your situation. But the way that I see this is like, maybe there has been so much going on in your home life or in your personal life, and you've been dealing with all of that. And so then you come back to your job, or you come back to like your online business, or like whatever, and you're like, you know what, like, I'm just gonna wear my heart on my sleeves, and I'm just gonna put it all out here. Like, I'm just gonna be me and not try to like hide what I'm going through, or like whatever. It's kind of this like built up tension that's like releasing in terms of your career, your public image, your reputation, something that you've been dealing a lot with this year, and something that you may have had some confusion around, like your direction in life, your long-term goals, like where you see yourself in the future. And so like, it's almost like you're leveling up, and maybe a part of that, like a part of what you thought your direction was, is ending, or an old direction or an old kind of identity that you put out into the world is ending, and like a new one is beginning right now. And so, yeah, with the moon in the 10th, it's like, kind of like it can make almost like our private lives more public, or we share more of who we really are on a more like public level in some way. And with the moon being your ruler as well, you're going to be feeling this full moon, and with your sign squaring the sign of Aries, it could feel like some internal tension or some intention with your identity or body or health or wellness that's been building is really finally being challenged with this full moon. And it's like, how do you want to release this? How can you own what you've been going through? How can you own how you feel and not feel shame around it, and just own it, be the leader, be the trailblazer, like, move ahead, like own who you are, kind of thing. And with the full moon being ruled by Mars in your 5th house, this could definitely also be, tying in maybe your love life or your interest or your hobbies in some way, something that you have been giving your energy to in your personal life. So yeah, definitely let me know down below, Cancer risings, how that is relating with you guys and what you guys are noticing coming up for this full moon. Comment down below, sexy Cancer rising, because you are. And if you missed the beginning, go back and watch. It's really powerful. And the beginning, especially for you guys, is going to really, really relate. So go back and watch that. Okay. So moving on to Leo risings. For my fellow Leo risings, we have this Aries full moon happening in our 9th house. And so usually this is a time of year, around this Aries full moon that is really kind of, it can do a couple things. It can end a certain chapter in our lives related to our paths in life, related to our paths around where we find our sense of, higher meaning and higher purpose, God, our beliefs, education, things like a path that we've been going down, that is maybe no longer resonating with us, and where we change it up. Or it can reintroduce us to a path that maybe we've forgotten about, reintroduce us to our beliefs, reintroduce us to, our philosophical and kind of, what's the other word I'm looking for? Our philosophical, universal, divine codes of our journey, So it could be doing kind of either or. I've seen it play out in both ways, especially like in my own life, where I've seen it kind of end a journey that I had been going down. I've seen it be kind of the thing that's like, oh, wait, like I actually need to do this for me instead of pleasing, you know, other people or trying to be overly considerate of other people. I've got to do me. I've got to go after my goals. I've got to go after my dreams. I've got to go after the things that I want out of life. I've got to go after my vision for my purpose here. And then I've also seen it be like it kind of reintroducing us to, or it be kind of like letting go, I mean, of a certain chapter of our life, whether it was like an educational chapter or a chapter of like a path that we had been going down that we once found purpose in but no longer are. So it could be either or for us. So kind of watch for those signs, but you're definitely going to feel this like, okay, what is my path, and like where do I want to learn from next? I've also noticed this Aries full moon kind of the Aries energy in the ninth kind of playing out where it's like we are our own teachers, like in a lot of ways with Aries in the ninth, like we are our own teachers. Like, you know, how do we want to lead ourselves through our lessons in life or whatever lessons we're learning right now? And so it could be that as well. But those are some of the things we can notice. Mars is in our 4th house, baby, which rules this full moon. And so it could be also bringing up some things going on within our home, family, personal lives, and educational pursuits or learning pursuits, etc. So kind of watch for that tie-in as well. And let me know how you're feeling it down below. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. As always, let's compare and contrast here. And definitely watch the beginning. If you skipped ahead, that first half is really gonna, I'm sure, relate with you guys because it came from me, your fellow Leo rising. Okay, so comment down below, sexy Leo rising, because you are. And we are moving on to Virgo risings. For Virgo risings, this Aries full moon is in your 8th. And so it feels like you're kind of reaching this peak or epitome of a financial situation that maybe you've been dealing with or going through or fighting for, or that's been really challenging, or that's been really difficult or edgy or confrontational. It's like something here is coming to its peak, or something's being realized, or something's being known, or you're realizing maybe like, you know, like there could be somebody else in your life that's like, being kind of selfish or self-centered or just worried about themselves and is, you know, wanting something from you and wanting you to be considerate or fair or whatever about it. And so this could be like a decision that you're making with that you know, 2nd and 8th house opposition with this full moon. And so, yeah, it could be some kind of decision that you're making or an investment that you're making, something kind of big that you're buying or something transactional that you're doing with other people or another person in some way to do with your location, with Mars in your 3rd house, to do with your location, your surroundings, and, you know, your day-to-day life and all of that. So that's looking very interesting. Let me know down below, Virgo risings, what is coming up for you. And if that resonated, let me know. Comment down below, sexy Virgo rising. And also, if you missed the beginning, go back and check it out. That first half is really, really important. So go back and watch it. Alrighty. Moving on to Libra risings, this Aries full moon is in your 7th house, baby. And so this is definitely a wild full moon for you. It's definitely bringing to light any relationship stuff that has been going on, any emotional relationship conflicts or friction where you've been just wanting peace or just wanting to feel peace within yourself or just wanting to feel balanced within yourself and within your life. But there's some kind of relationship drama that is going on, or confrontation or conflict that may have been going on, or challenge or friction or something, you know, going on with another person or going on with your significant other. Now, if you don't have a significant other, or if there really is not really a challenge going on, this could be something that is revealed to you about your significant other, or about just your patterns in relationships in general if you're not in a relationship right now. And even if you are, you know, this is definitely reflecting something back to you to do with your relationships and the significant people within your life. Now, on top of that, Mars is in your 2nd house. So Mars here, it could be bringing in like something to do with money and resources and finances as well into whatever is happening with this Aries full moon for you. You know, it could definitely be maybe like you're going through a divorce and your ex-partner is like, you know, well, what's mine, what's yours kind of thing. Or maybe, you know, like your relationship's good and maybe your partner has some kind of realization and they get vulnerable with you about something, or maybe the fire reawakens within them and they're like finally accept the challenge they're going through, and you know, you're like supportive of them. Or maybe if you're single, it's like, you know, I'm realizing what I really want in a partner, or I'm realizing I need to put myself out there more. I'm realizing I need to be more of myself with dating or whatever the case may be. I'm realizing that I am resourceful and that I have so much to me and not to hide it, you know, something along those lines. So let me know what is coming up for you guys, Libra risings, and if that relates at all. I'd love to hear your feedback down below. Comment down below, sexy Libra rising. If you missed the first half of this video, you're really missing out, so go back and watch that. And we are going to move on to Scorpio risings. For Scorpio risings, this Aries full moon is happening in your 6th house of health, wellness, work, your day-to-day routines and tasks and responsibilities that you have on a day-to-day basis. So this is like your kind of smaller goals, your smaller things that you've got to do every day to keep up with your life, to keep up with yourself, the structure of your day-to-day life. And so a lot of those things could be coming up for this Aries full moon. Where do you need to kind of take ownership of, you know, your day-to-day life, change your routines, get back in the driver's seat, you know, start leading your life instead of allowing it to lead you? Where do you need to get serious on focusing on yourself, you know, especially with Mars, the ruler of this full moon in your sign, like self-development related things, really, really, really huge for you right now as a Scorpio rising. You know, where do you need to make some true changes in your physical life on a day-to-day level, on a day-to-day routine level? Maybe knock out some tasks that you've been procrastinating on, or knock out some, you know, actions that you've needed to do, but you've been kind of hanging on the fence. Like, this is like allowing yourself to get edgy and focus on you for once, instead of focusing on what everybody else is going to think about it, or, you know, what everybody else is doing, or like whatever. It's like, no, I've got to get back into my own rituals and my own routines that I know help me, or I need to let go of ones that are no longer helping me in some way. This could also look like, for some of you, dealing with a situation at work, or dealing with a challenge or conflict at work that has been building and getting under your skin, and kind of facing this or owning up to this, or leading yourself through your day-to-day challenges, these day-to-day conflicts, these day-to-day difficulties in a way that you're going to be proud of. Okay, so it's kind of like taking ownership of your shit, like cleaning up the things in your day-to-day routines, the tasks that you need to complete, etc. Like just charging through it, getting it done, and you're going to feel more confident about it. You're going to feel better about it. So what changes do you need to make with your health, your diet, your exercise routine, you know, your work routines, your sleep routines, etc., that are going to make the world of difference for you and your body? This is so much about your body and your health right now as well, and just really focusing on you. And so, yeah, I would definitely get into the body for this full moon and work out any tension you're feeling. Like, that's going to be so, so, so crucial if you're a Scorpio rising. So let me know down below, Scorpio risings, how that related. Comment down below, sexy Scorpio rising. And if you missed the beginning, that's going to help you guys a lot. The first half is going to really, really, really relate to you based on your chart. So go back and watch that if you skipped ahead. And moving on to Sag risings. For Sag risings, this Aries full moon is happening in your 5th house of love, romance, play, pleasure, you know, all of the good stuff. This is like getting back to the things that you're passionate about, that kind of make your inner child like feel really good. And that could be challenging things. Like, this is kind of remembering your interests, your passions, your hobbies, or maybe letting go of some that aren't really aligned with you anymore. But either way, it's like, where's your heart? Where's your soul? Where's your spirit? Where's your fire? And how can you tap back into that? Whether it's through like going on some adventure, or, you know, like a certain sport that you are really into, something that gets your energy moving, something that activates you, you know, that's going to be really, really big right now. And the Mars and Scorpio ruling this full moon. Mars is in your 12th house, which rules this full moon. So this, I mean, for some of you, this could even be letting go of certain, like, you know, things that you've been doing for like fun, pleasure, entertainment that maybe haven't been good for you. Like, or maybe they've been ways that you've been kind of self-sabotaging in some way with Mars in the 12th. Or it could be things that you're doing that are really good for you and that are helping you process some subconscious stuff. Okay, so there's kind of this push to like face hidden fears through doing things that you're passionate about, that you find pleasure in, through challenging yourself. And so that's really the vibe if you're a Sag rising. Let me know down below, Sag risings, what you are noticing. Comment down below, sexy Sag rising. And if you missed the first half of this video, definitely go back and watch it. So moving on to Capricorn risings. For Capricorn risings, we have this Aries full moon happening in your 4th house of home, family, and your personal life. And the Aries full moon happening here is definitely shedding a light on some internal, hidden, emotional, familial, home life conflicts, challenges, or friction that may have been going on or that may be getting built up here. This could be like a release of tension through maybe an argument that happens or a conflict that comes to light, or this could be something that needs to change or move or shift in some way to do with your home, your family, and your personal life. So there's something going on here, like in your foundation area, in your nest, you know, home, family, like your home life, maybe your past, you know, to be looked at here, for you to kind of either release some built up tension here, release some emotion here, or maybe even like lead yourself and your family through a challenging time or a specific, it could even be a small challenge or a small change or addressing a conflict at home in some way. And with Mars and Scorpio in the 10th house, it could somehow tie in like groups of people, like other people, friend groups that you belong to that have to do with like interest or something, like, you know, basically similar interest as you, like anybody that you are connected to that kind of has like a similar interest in you. Yeah. And so there's definitely something here. It's like you want to focus on your career and balancing out your career and bringing that into harmony. But it's like there's something in your home life that is getting brought up here first that needs your attention or that needs to be transmuted, changed. So let me know down below, Capricorn, what that ends up being for you and what you do notice coming up for this full moon. I'd love to hear your feedback down below. If you skipped the beginning, go back and watch that. It can be very, very helpful. And comment down below, sexy Capricorn rising. And we are moving on to Aquarius risings. For Aquarius risings, this Aries full moon is in your 3rd house. And so this could definitely be a number of different things, people, places, things, okay, that have been bringing up challenges, conflicts, or friction in your life. And it's relating to your future. It's relating to your long-term goals. It's relating to where you see yourself going in your life in some way, shape, or form. So this may be a time for you to set some boundaries. This may be a time for you to speak your truth. This may be a time for you to take some action. This may be a time for you to tell some people no, or to like fuck off nicely, respectfully, you know, like this may be a time for you to just be direct about something that you've been trying to be very nice about or that you've been avoiding. This could also be something that you're taking action on, something that you're getting involved with locally, some kind of change or, you know, challenge that you're getting involved with and on like a local level or in your surroundings or with like friends that live near you or something like that as well. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think that it could be also like a short trip that you're going on. It's kind of time to get back to you and what you feel is good for you in your day-to-day life and your daily rituals and the environments that you want to be around and frequent. Like that's what this is really going to be about. So let me know down below, Aquarius risings, how that related and what you are noticing happening here. I'd really love to hear your feedback. Comment down below, sexy Aquarius rising. And if you missed the beginning, definitely go back and watch that. It can really help you to add a lot more context to this full moon and how it's playing out for you. Moving on to Pisces risings, last but not least, this full moon is happening in your 2nd house of money, honey. Money, resources, anything that you depend upon to prop yourself up. You know, it doesn't just have to be money. It can be anything that you depend upon, the things that you prioritize, and how you're moving in your life based on those things. So this full moon could be kind of shedding a light on like, okay, where your priorities have felt a little bit out of whack or where you haven't been taking care of yourself as much or doing as much for yourself. Where you need to start taking action or changing some things, even though they're challenging, even though it may cause friction in your day-to-day life. You know, this full moon in your 2nd house is like, trust yourself, take action based on this inner knowing and that you have, you know what I mean? Where do you need to look at your resources, your priorities, the things that you've been depending on that, you know, something needs to change here, you know, whatever needs to change with these things, that's going to be really important. It's time to make decisions that are best for you rather than ones that may be best for everyone else. And sometimes the best decision is the one that you feel is best for you. Sometimes that's what ends up working out for everybody else. And yeah, I feel like that's what you could really be noticing coming up for this Aries full moon. Mars is in your 9th in Scorpio. So it could be kind of bringing in this sense of educational pursuits, learning pursuits, like what you feel your purpose is, you know, the direction that you're kind of going in life right now, travel pursuits, Something like that could be also kind of weaved into this full moon. So look for those themes as well. So comment down below, Pisces rising, if that resonated, and let me know what you are noticing come up, even if it didn't. And comment down below sexy Pisces risings as well. And if you skipped ahead to this part, if you didn't watch the first half, go back and watch that. It's going to give you a lot more, okay? A lot more. So go back and watch that. It's really powerful. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.